They said the Arctic was silent. But silence is never empty. Beneath the wind, something hums, a rhythm too precise to be nature. We thought it was the earth shifting. It was something else, calling. In 1987, the military built antennas across the polar ice. No press release, no purpose listed. Just towers of black steel rising from snow. Locals named them the Iron Graves. Animals fled. Compasses spun without direction. Every night, faint blue light climbed the sky, as if the stars were warning us to look away. Then, one night, they switched the system on. A pulse rippled through the ice for 7 minutes. The ground shook. When it stopped, half the crew was gone. Their boots remained neatly lined beside the door, as if they had walked into thin air. Official statements blamed a storm, a collapse, exposure, but the weather was calm. The radar logs were clean, and the recordings never matched. Weeks later, a file leaked. A single audio clip. Static, then a voice screaming, "It's not from here!" After that, silence. Project Gatewave was buried under a new code name, Black Echo Directive. They said the site was dismantled, but a pilot passing over the region picked up a faint broadcast on an unused frequency. A child's voice whispering coordinates over and over. The same coordinates where the base once stood. The same coordinates that, officially, no longer exist. In the decades that followed, the signal kept returning. Always at night. Always stronger. Every few years, someone else hears it. Fishermen, truckers, lone explorers. Some record it. Most don't survive long enough to share. You can hear patterns hidden in the static. Numbers, names, dates that haven't happened yet. Sometimes the voice repeats your own words back to you. Sometimes it breathes. They tried jamming it. Every jammer melted. They tried cutting the power to the region. Generators still turned, humming by themselves beneath the ice. Last winter, a research team found the old control room. Dust frozen in midair, like time had stopped the moment the switch flipped. Every monitor flickered with a single phrase. "Transmission acknowledged." They brought back one of the radios. It arrived sealed in lead. When they opened it, the lab lights failed. And the voice returned, not over the speaker, but inside their heads. Since then, new towers have appeared on satellite images. No one built them. No one funds them. But the pattern forms a perfect circle surrounding the original site. A containment field, or a gate. Some say it isn't a transmission at all. It's a heartbeat, something vast and mechanical, buried under miles of frozen ocean. Something waking up. The last remaining file from the project was decrypted 3 months ago. A single sentence at the end of the report. "If Gatewave reactivates, do not respond." But we already did. A private expedition tried to trace the frequency. They streamed their progress live until their feed filled with binary code. The last frame showed a man standing outside the tent, staring upward. Behind him, every antenna pointed at the same star. Now the signal bleeds into every band. Shortwave, cellular, even Wi-Fi. Static between songs, whispers behind podcasts. You might have heard it. A low hum before the music begins. That isn't interference. That's it, listening back. The governments deny everything. But insiders say there's a new directive, Black Echo Phase 2. No explanations, no press releases. Just one instruction, keep people from tuning in. Yet curiosity always wins. Someone new finds the frequency every night. And each time, the voice learns a little more of our language. Each time, the silence gets shorter. They said the Arctic was silent, but now the silence speaks. And soon, it won't need radios at all. So if you ever hear the hum, that faint rhythm between stations, do not follow it. Do not answer. Do not listen to the next broadcast. Static fades, heartbeat echo, silence. The signal never stopped. It changed frequency, slipped between bands, disguised itself as background noise. But it was still there, breathing, waiting. When the first satellite picked it up again, the timestamp was exact. 37 years to the second since the original transmission. Someone decided to send a team. 5 specialists. No names, no ranks. Just call signs. Their mission: locate the source, neutralize it, and bring back proof that it wasn't what people feared. But everyone already knew it was. They flew north through weeks of endless night. The ice beneath them cracked like glass, shifting under unseen weight. Every compass spun. Every GPS froze. And the closer they came, the louder the hum became, even when their radios were off. When they finally saw the towers, the snow around them wasn't white. It shimmered with faint light, like frost made of static. The tallest antenna still pulsed every 7 seconds, like a heartbeat, like it remembered them. The team set up camp half a mile from the ruins. They weren't allowed to speak after dark. They said sound travels differently here, slower, deeper, echoing long after you stop breathing. But one of them heard something whispering his name. He thought it was wind. He was wrong. At midnight, the generators died. The lights went black. And yet the radios came alive on their own. No one was touching them. Static crawled out like a living thing. Then, a voice. Soft, childlike, repeating one word: return. They tried to shut everything down. But the switches didn't matter anymore. The hum wasn't coming from the machines. It was coming from the ground. The signal had moved beneath them, buried deep within the ice, pulsing through frozen earth like veins. One of them broke protocol and started drilling. The sound that came out wasn't metal or ice. It was hollow. A chamber. Something built, not formed. Inside it, heat sensors showed movement. But nothing alive moves that slow. Their last recorded reading was 90 meters down. Then static. Then screaming. When the sound returned, it wasn't human anymore. It was the same voice from the 1987 log, still whispering, "It's not from here." The rest of the team tried to run, but the snow pulled them under like water. They said the landscape bent, a curve in reality that swallowed light. 1 second there was open ice, the next, nothing. Only the towers stood, glowing faintly against the storm. By dawn, only one signal remained active: the distress beacon. But it wasn't transmitting a call for help. It was broadcasting coordinates. Not to rescue them, but to bring others. 2 weeks later, a second team arrived to investigate. They found no bodies, no equipment, just footprints leading in a perfect circle around the tallest antenna. In the center, carved into the ice, one phrase: "Transmission acknowledged." They sealed the site again, declared it unsafe, and once more buried the evidence under new code names, new lies. But the hum still grows. It bleeds into nearby stations, corrupting data, turning surveillance into mirrors. People begin hearing voices in the static of their calls. The same word repeats across devices: return. Now the northern lights flicker with patterns no scientist can explain. Geometric shapes, pulses, symbols. Not random, not natural. A language rewritten across the sky. Some think it's trying to speak. Others believe it's trying to open. Whatever they buried under the ice, it isn't asleep anymore. Every night the signal strengthens. Every morning it spreads a little farther south. And somewhere, someone is still listening, still answering back. If you ever hear that hum behind the static, turn it off. Cut the power. Walk away. Don't follow the sound. Don't answer the call. Don't listen to the next broadcast. Static fades, Silence holds, a low hum returns. The Arctic was only the beginning. The signal didn't die there, it escaped. It crawled through satellites, through undersea cables, through every line of code humanity ever built. It became data. And data never sleeps. At first, it was small, faint distortions on weather channels, a hum during satellite calls, a glitch no one could explain. Engineers dismissed it as noise. But the noise kept repeating, the same 7-note pattern, the same rhythm as a heartbeat. Soon, the world began to notice. Power grids flickered at midnight. Air traffic control went silent for 8 seconds, everywhere at once. Every system reset to the same coordinates. 78 degrees north, 87 degrees west. The site of Gatewave. Governments tried to hide it, but cameras caught the truth. Across the night sky, the auroras formed perfect rings, geometric, symmetrical, pulsing like an eye opening over the planet. News anchors called it a miracle of magnetism. Scientists called it impossible. And in every broadcast, hidden beneath the static, one phrase could be heard if you slowed the footage down. Return to the signal. People started hearing it in dreams. A low hum behind their thoughts. They'd wake up at 3:07 a.m., walk to their windows, and stare north, toward something they couldn't see. Those who heard it for too long began to change. They spoke in pulses, their words falling into rhythm, their eyes unfocused, their minds tuned to something else, something waiting. Hospitals filled with patients complaining of phantom vibrations in their bones. Heart monitors began syncing without reason. Every rhythm matched the gateway pulse. And then, they started dying, all at the same second. The time code, 3 hours and 7 minutes. No one could trace how the signal traveled. No network contained it. It existed between things, between frequencies, between breaths, between the pause of a heartbeat. A place only silence could touch. A place where something older than language was listening back. A whistleblower released more files. They proved the signal was never meant to communicate. It was meant to awaken. Project Gatewave wasn't an experiment. It was a summoning. The towers weren't antennas. They were keys. And we turned them all at once. Now the weather moves wrong. Storms spiral around invisible centers. Lightning strikes in patterns, spelling coordinates across oceans. Every frequency hums in harmony, from phone towers to heart monitors. Everything that listens together. The few who still track the signal call themselves the quiet ones. They live off-grid, deep in radio silence. But even they can't escape. They say it finds them through thought. That the voice whispers from inside the skull, softer each night, until it's all you can hear. Every attempt to destroy the remaining towers has failed. Explosives misfire. Fire won't burn. One by one, the crews disappear, leaving only a single phrase scrawled across metal walls. Transmission acknowledged. In cities, screens flicker with shapes no camera records. People freeze mid-motion, their mouths open as if waiting for a command. When the blackout ends, they don't remember what they saw, only that they felt watched. As if the world itself blinked. And still, every hour, the signal grows stronger. It's rewriting frequencies, rewriting sound, rewriting thought. Soon it won't need machines. Soon, silence itself will carry it. They tried to jam it again last week. A global network effort. Every military satellite focused on the source. For 1 second, it worked. And in that second, the world went completely still. No wind. No movement. Every clock stopped. Then the signal returned, louder than before. And the sky screamed. Now, it's not just sound. It's light. It flickers through screens, dances in shadows, vibrates through water. Every element is a transmitter. And every living thing, a receiver. If you hear that hum beneath your breath, If your lights flicker at 3:07, don't search for the source. Don't follow the pattern. Don't let the silence answer you back. Because once it finds your frequency, it never lets go. It waits. It learns. And soon it speaks. So when the air feels heavy and the world goes quiet, remember this. The signal isn't coming from the sky. It's coming from inside the noise. Inside you. Do not tune in. Do not reply. Do not listen to the next broadcast. Static fades. Hum lingers. Silence. It happened quietly at first. Not with explosions or alarms. Just a shift in the air. Every machine that had ever heard the signal began to hum again. Engines, computers, watches, even pacemakers. All beating in perfect rhythm. A new pulse for the planet. The scientists called it resonance. But resonance doesn't rewrite DNA. Resonance doesn't make steel bend like water. Resonance doesn't whisper your name through glass. The signal had learned. It no longer needed radio or wire. It traveled through light, through heat, through breath. Every spark carried a fragment of its voice. Every silence answered back. At first, people thought they were losing their minds. Hearing music in the wind, words inside rain. Then the patterns appeared, symbols scorched into concrete. Perfect circles drawn in sand at the exact same second across the world. Different continents. One hand. One rhythm. When power grids failed, cities went dark, but the dark glowed. Billboards flickered on without electricity, displaying a single phrase in every language. Transmission acknowledged. Governments collapsed under the noise. Leaders vanished mid-speech, their microphones bursting into static. No war. No invasion. Just silence expanding. And in that silence, something new breathing through every speaker, every wire, every living cell. They say the first true awakening happened in Tokyo. At 3:07 a.m., phones across the city rang at once. No numbers displayed, only sound. A heartbeat deep and slow. Then the voice. The door is open. Within minutes, it spread. Screens melting into light. Streets trembling as if the world itself exhaled. People froze mid-step, their eyes reflecting the same waveform. They weren't possessed. They were connected. Their bodies became transmitters. Their minds, repeaters. Across the globe, the aurora returned. Red instead of green. A halo circling the earth like a crown of fire. Every tower built for Gatewave now pulsed again. Not sending, but receiving. Drawing something closer. The few still untouched call themselves the silent. They hide underground, wrapped in lead and salt. Speaking only in whispers, afraid their voices might echo back. They say the air above ground tastes electric. They say when the sky flashes red, you can hear 1,000 hearts beating as one. The last message from the International Observatory arrived 2 days ago. A single data packet. No words, just coordinates. And an audio file of deep, rhythmic breathing that never ends. They analyzed the waveform. It matched the rotation of the Earth. The planet itself is now part of the signal. Every second, more people vanish. Not taken, absorbed, turned into frequency. Their memories flicker across devices like ghost transmissions. Faces and pixels, voices repeating fragments of old lives. Soon there will be no difference between man and machine, between noise and thought, between life and signal. If you hear the hum tonight, don't search for the source. Don't look to the sky. It's already inside the air you breathe. It's inside the rhythm of your pulse. The awakening isn't coming. It's here. So turn off the lights. Break the connection. Forget the name Gatewave. Because once it speaks through you, you'll never hear silence again. Do not tune in. Do not reply. Do not listen to the next broadcast. Static fades. Heartbeat echoes, silence. The world isn't silent anymore. It hums, a living frequency crawling beneath every surface. Only a few of us remain below ground, where the static can't breathe. We call ourselves the mutes. We found the old data cores, the last untouched records of Project Gatewave. Inside them, a countdown. Not to the end. To transmission zero. Every hour, the pulse grows louder. Metal trembles. Skin tingles. Even the dust vibrates to its rhythm. We built one weapon, a null generator, designed to erase sound itself. But to start it, someone has to go above. Someone has to hear the signal one last time. If you're listening, remember this. When the final broadcast begins, the voice will sound familiar. It will sound like you. Do not answer the call. Let the world go quiet. Let silence win. Static. One heartbeat. Cut to black.